What up, YouTube? It's your girl Dee. Welcome back to another live stream. I hope you guys are doing well. So I want to get into this video. Melyssa Ford, she interviewed Charlemagne the God from the Breakfast Club, and this video is going viral. People are talking about this, and her bringing up the red pill content, and basically saying and showing that she's not really happy about that. And that's not a shocking thing. Honestly, it's not a shocking thing that you have women who have hit the wall, who don't like males, content creators or male podcasters, or just men in general, having a discussion about what they like and what they don't like about women and how they are moving as it relates to this modern woman and the modern woman society. And of course you have women like Melyssa Ford and others, Vivica Fox and Lisa Ray and a whole bunch of other women who have hit the wall, who are now senior citizens, who feel a certain way about men having an opinion on these modern women and what they will and will not accept. And it's only the women who have hit the wall and don't have any kids, or women or single women, who have a problem with men expressing their opinions and their thoughts on, modern women and how they think modern women are moving in the wrong way. So let's go ahead and get into the video. Also, hit the like button, y'all. Please hit the like button. Hit the like button as you come into the building. All right. All right. Here we go.
Everybody is projecting. Everybody's got some wound or some pain or some hurt that they felt that they haven't dealt with, and they go project that onto other people. That's why I don't get caught up in stuff like road rage, you know what I mean? Or like, I read a story the other day where this young lady held a door for someone and the woman didn't say thank you, so she went behind the woman to get her thank you. They end up in a fist fight. Then the woman ends up pulling out a gun and killing the girl in front of her 20-year-old daughter. And I'm just like, at what point did somebody not say, all right, this isn't about me holding the door. This isn't about that person not saying thank you. Like, there's something else going on with both of these individuals, right? And they couldn't wait to project that pain on each other. So it's just like, humans aren't naturally just wired to hurt each other. Something happened. Yeah. And I think that we got to remember that about each other.
Yeah. I think you talk a lot about our algorithms being very subjective, and we can create these algorithms, and sometimes there's stuff that just kind of gets funneled to us. But I will admit that my algorithm is very specific. There's a lot of cats and dogs in there, because for the, just I need the laughter and I need just, the good heartfelt moments. There's a lot of travel, because I'm constantly thinking about where I want to go next and what part of the world, part of the globe I need to see. There's a lot of women empowerment stuff. But a lot of times when you do have the women empowerment part of your algorithm, a lot of the other side is going to filter itself in. And that's the gender war-y, masculinity versus femininity whole rhetoric and stuff like that. And it does start to, kind of have an effect on you. I guess it's not that I don't believe that there is a huge swath of the male population that is interested in growth and evolution and their mental health. I absolutely believe that. I think that the ones that aren't, I think that the Manosphere, Red Pill Nation podcast bros, I think that they are so much louder.
That's the loud minority a lot of times.
And then when you see the comments, well, not only that, I mean, when you read cases like Giselle Pellicot, the woman in France, whose husband was basically renting out her body for about 10 years and drugging her in the process to where she didn't even know what was happening to her. And then this became like this massive case in France, and 51 men saw some kind of level of prosecution, but it was a...
Well, and this is another thing too, her bringing it up. And I think this is something a lot of women, certain women tend to do. What you tend to do is bring up the most salacious, negative stories that you could think of to prove a point that it's not the majority of what's happening. Yes, there are psychopaths out here, both women and men, and of all races. There are psychopaths out here who are doing crazy, dangerous things. There are dangerous people out here. We know this. We watch the news. We see what's happening. We see that there are crazy men who are deleting women. We see that there are crazy psychopaths deleting each other. We see there are crazy women out here too who are deleting men and their own children. So any story that you can think of, it's happened. I can pull both sides Because I'm saying, listen, it exists on both sides. There are crazy women and there are crazy men, and women outnumber men. So how do we know if there might be more crazy women than crazy men? But if your focus is only on the men, that's all you're going to show. I'm saying we got to look on both sides, because on each side it exists. But if you're trying to paint a narrative that men are the problem, that's all you're going to focus on. And the minute somebody says, okay, but there are women who do this, there are women who contribute to this horrible behavior, and women do X, Y, Z, and women are dangerous too. Oh, now it's like, oh, you're bashing women. No, because a lot of these women who have hit the wall and have not been able to have their way completely, they're bitter, in my opinion. In my opinion, I believe Melyssa Ford is bitter. I do. I believe she's gotten to this age. She doesn't have any kids, even though she said that was never a priority. That was never something that she wanted. And a lot of women say this in hindsight. And of course, when you're 20 years old and you're your most, beautiful and most fine and all of that, you're like, oh, I understand that for a lot of women, that wasn't your focus, because you've had the pick of the litter. You could choose to be with whoever you wanted to be with because you felt you had options. And you did that for years and years and years, until now you're on the other side of life, 50 years old, now no kids. She mentions perimenopause. You ain't no man in sight, no kids in sight. And now you're reevaluating life and looking at yourself saying, wait a minute now, while simultaneously making it seem like you're completely happy with your choices and your outcomes, when I know a lot of them are not. They're trying to make sense of it and trying to figure out, where do they go at this point? What trying to make sense of their lives? Because as much as women like to say, oh, we're happy to be in our 30s and 40s and 50s and 60s, and we're single and we don't have kids and we're living our best lives. We can travel, we can do this with that. Like, you could do all that with a man too. I will never understand it, you guys. I will never understand how women have believe this and they bought into this, that you can't have fun while having a man. And I said it before, the only thing that you can't do is go around and screw everybody, because you're loyal and obligated to your man. That's the only thing. You can still travel with a husband and kids. You can still, your life is not over. And they realize, and now you're on the flip side of life. Melyssa Ford is 50 years old, if I'm not mistaken. No fam, no children, no nothing. And she's trying to make sense of this. That's what most women do at that age. They're trying to make sense of where they are. That's all. And you want to blame somebody, and the only people that you can blame is men. Well, you have to blame yourself, because you didn't see this coming. And this is why it's called hitting the wall, because you hit the wall, you have nowhere else to go. Oh, I'm living my life, I'm traveling. You could have had children, you could have had a husband, a fulfilling life with all of it. This is why I say women can have it all, but you can't have it all at one time. At the same time, it takes time. It's a process. You got to build that up. There are women who have careers, have husbands, children, they have it all. But the most common way most women and men have gone about this is starting young. When they started young, they married their high school sweethearts, or they married the man that they met in their 20s, and then they had a family, and then they built careers, or they met in college. Like, there's a common theme here that nobody, well, a lot of people don't want to address and don't want to focus on, because they didn't do it that way. So you can't go back and do it that way. So now you're trying to reinvent the wheel and create a different perspective, when there are some core things that allow you to have these things and make it work. But because so many women have chose the wrong way, they're trying to reinvent the wheel and try to do it a different way. And men won't allow it, because men have been consistently saying what it is that they will and will not accept, and what it is that they want. And they're very stern on it. And I don't think women are used to that, because women are used to getting their way. Just saying. Let's continue.
Why they don't ever do the positive story? Propaganda works both ways. Mm-hmm. If there was a network that showed us, these great men who did right by women and, protected women and held women down, your perspective wouldn't lean so much to, men ain't I gotta go to bed.
No, trust me. I place in my algorithm men that I know there's a guy named Will Hitchens online. There is this podcast, it's these 4 young Black boys. I can't remember what the podcast is called right now, but I mean.
Oh, you're talking about
it starts with a J.
Jamming?
Yes,
like
yes.
Yeah, they're from Chicago, I think.
I love them. I love them because it's just, they take men and brosphere and red pillars to task. And their rhetoric is so respectful towards women, and they just have so much common sense for being so young. So
and I think what happens is these types of women, you're going to gravitate to the things that make you feel comfortable. You don't want to hear red pill podcasters speak because they speak to the real truth of it all, the nitty gritty of it. They speak to what's actually happening and they make no apologies for it. You want somebody who's going to sugarcoat things and make you feel good and not really tell the full truth about what it is. And I don't think that, it has to be a drag race towards women or men. But see, the problem that I see in that is there are a lot of women who actually drag men, could talk as salacious and drag men as much as they want. And no woman stands up and says, not now, you don't have to do that. Why don't you talk respectfully about Black men and, get your point across of what you think and what you feel? Because, we feel stuff. But you don't have to drag them and put them down. Most women don't speak to that. You could talk about a man however you want, talk about their bullet bags and talk about them as harshly and as disrespectfully as you want to, and nobody push back. Women could say whatever they want about a man, right? But a man can't say anything about y'all. And that's the problem. That's the one-sidedness of it all. And I just think men are tired. Men are like, no, why should we have all this grace for y'all when y'all have none for us? If you can say anything you want about a Black man and nobody bats an eye, but as soon as you have an opinion about a Black woman, y'all bashing women, y'all don't respect women, y'all hate y'all mamas. But then you listen to the stuff that women say about men and it's okay. Nobody says, you know what? Well, if we want them to respect us, we should respect them. And that's the one-sidedness of it all. And this is why men don't care anymore. They don't care anymore because they've heard it all. As long as women had the mics and were saying all these negative things about men and just generalizing all Black men, all bets were off when men decided, you know what, to hell with this. I'm not going to just lay down and take this, and we're going to listen to what y'all say and we're going to move accordingly. Now that men are moving accordingly, now women are still pissed and mad. Y'all done said Black men should be bullet bags and y'all could just do away with them. We don't care. Y'all said y'all would prefer the white man. All these things. And nobody says, dang, that's so harsh toward men. Oh, even other men have kind of this like, because men ain't this and these niggas need to learn. Yeah, there's some men that need to learn. There's a lot of men that, don't get it right, for sure. But that still don't excuse all of the women who are just bashing men and feel this way about every Black man. They're not separating it. They're focused on and putting all Black men in this category, like all of them are trash. And that's just what it is. And as soon as men start responding to this and acting accordingly and having an opinion on it, oh my God, this red pill is a horrible and this and that and this and that. Like, come on, like y'all, the stuff that y'all say isn't horrible. It's a one-sided thing, and I just think that's where it needs to change. If you want respect from men, you got to give it. You can't just expect men to just keep laying down and taking all of this and taking it, and then you still want them to kiss your ass and still run behind you and still just treat you like these queens and princesses. Y'all just talk to them crazy, disrespect them, treat them horribly, say whatever you want about them, and laugh and joke about it, but you still want them to take you seriously and bring you all their money and do all these things. And then wonder why when men get money, they go run to a different race of a woman. Or try to go somewhere else to find other women after all the stuff y'all done said about them. You think they've forgotten that? No, y'all. It's like you throw the dirt and then you hide your hand and act like who did that? We did what? And then act like who said that? What? Why they? And then act like y'all are oblivious to y'all nature and what y'all said and what y'all done. That's not cool. That's not cool. Let's continue.
Follow Deontay Kyle. I definitely have an algorithm full of men that are, that are allies to women. But I will also find myself in the comment section of certain things, and it's just, it's very polarizing, and it pulls you, and especially. I've had my own experiences of being around a certain type of a certain group of men who exhibit groupthink, and that groupthink tends to lean very misogynistically. So it has an effect on you, as somebody who's just kind of like absorbing it simply just because I'm a woman and I'm the woman in the room kind of thing. It's just.
I listen. Are there fuckboys out here? Yes, but I still believe in the circle of trust of humans, and I believe that the shooting percentage when it comes to the circle of trusted humans is still very, very high in spite of all the bullshit. And what do I mean by that? We wake up every day, every single one of us, and we trust that we're not gonna go crazy. I don't know none of these people in this room, but one of these motherfuckers go crazy and f up the whole day for everybody. You could go to freaking Dunkin' Donuts and order a coffee, and it's that one person in the back who might decide, you know what, I'm gonna put some, fentanyl or arson in her shit. You might get in the car with the Uber driver and that person decides to run off the road. My point is, we don't think about that type of stuff. So there's a circle of trust that exists amongst humans. And in spite of all of the bullshit, we do pretty good at making sure that all of us are safe and protected. So I can't base everything off, just the bullshit. But imagine if we had to wake up every day and just not trust anybody.
I mean, that would be really isolating. But
you're kind of doing that with the men.
No.
You started it off by saying money. That's basically what you said. You was like, I don't want to be with nobody.
No, it's not that. I'll be completely honest. It has nothing to do with me not wanting to be with anybody right now at this particular stage of my life because of this massive career transition and spiritual transition. I'm having what I now understand is a spiritual awakening. And it has been so powerful that I don't think anybody needs to be there at this moment. I need to be.
It's not powerful. This is that Oprah Winfrey talk. That ain't nothing powerful about none of that shit. It's an eye-opening experience that you're 50 years old, or however old she is, and this is not just her. It's an eye-opener to reality and of the time that you've wasted and the mistakes that you've made. That's all it is. They try to turn this stuff into, it's so powerful. It's a bunch of bullshit. It's not powerful. It's you realizing your mistakes and the time that you wasted, and now you bitter about it. It ain't no aha moment. It's none of that. That's a bunch of BS. Reality didn't set in because you're older. You didn't have this mentality when you was in your 20s because you was out there busting it open and doing whatever you wanted to do, feeling empowered, like you had the world, you had the whole world at your feet and you could do what you want, and what you chose to do didn't really yield you any benefit. It's reality sinking in. That's it. The bottom line is, and the truth is, they just wasted opportunities. They focused on their careers and they did what they thought they needed to do to become successful. And now they have some level of success. Some of them aren't even happy with that because they didn't get what they thought they were going to get. A lot of these actresses who are single and older now didn't really get what they thought they would get. When I think of that, the person that comes to mind to me is Tracee Ellis Ross. I don't believe that Tracee Ellis Ross has attained the level of success that she thought she would or could have. I don't think she's quite made it to the level that she thought she would. I think she's had some successful TV shows and some things of that nature, but I don't think she's become the super successful actress that she probably thought she or wanted to be. And on top of that, she hasn't created a family life she hasn't been successful in relationships or anything like that. And I don't think she's reached her full potential when it comes to what she thought she would have accomplished by this age in her career. So I think some of these women still are looking to accomplish a level of success that they may not ever that they never might attain. You know what I mean? She is not on Julia Roberts standards or, some more super successful actresses. I think they still are looking for that. And that's another thing that they have to come to grips with, that you might not ever get that level of success. Yeah, you've been successful and that's great. But that's something that they have to accept as well, that you may not ever get that career that you thought you were going to get. And on top of that, you still don't have a family. You don't have nothing else to show for your life here, which I'm not discrediting your life, because life is life. As long as you're alive, you have opportunities and you should and live your best life and be happy. But I think it's something that they have to recognize, something that they have to come to grips with, that, damn, I didn't really get all that I thought I would get out of this. And, I put so much in, but I really didn't get as much out. And am I okay with this? They have to come to reality and terms with that and be okay with that. Because I think when you're young, you have all these ideas and these aspirations of what you want to become, where you want to be in your life and by this age. And, for some people, it's like by 30, I want to be married with kids and I want my career to by this age. I want this career. I want that. And then when it doesn't happen, and then it doesn't seem like it's going to happen, that's something that you have to come to terms with. That's it. And this is why I say some women can accept it and be okay with it. And then others, they have issues with that. It is what it is. It's just the reality of life.